going on, family? It's Brother Coasty at IALLG.com, and today's topic is all about business, right? Let's get into it today. Most people who start a business, especially in the coaching world, in the consulting world, in the service-based world, maybe you're a spiritual practitioner, maybe you're a holistic wellness coach, maybe you're somebody like me who's a creative consultant. You know, we do all these service-based ideas. Most of us, we were born with the talents. Let's be real about it. We're born with it. Stuff that we just naturally are inclined to do. It's things that we're just naturally good at. We didn't have to do too much studying. We do more studying to get better and to perfect our craft. But a lot of it just runs intuitively with us. And so we get the great idea all of a sudden. If you get the itch like I did, just in case you didn't know, I was a corporate accountant. I got my master's in accounting, did corporate accounting for 3 years, and I was like, yo, that's not it. I'm getting drained. I'm dying slowly on the inside, quite literally. I was getting weak. I was diabetic at that point in time as well. Like, it was bad. I had to get out. I had to get all the way out, and I had to realize what my purpose was, what my passions were. And so I got into the world of coaching and consulting and being a mentor, right? And it's something that just happened naturally because it's things that I'm naturally good at. But what most people don't know is there's this weird step that you take when you go from just doing it as a hobby, something that you just naturally do, and then doing it as a profession. And look, there's nothing wrong with taking that leap into making it a profession. You just have to understand some of the hurdles that come with it. One of the hurdles is where your focus tends to go. It's where your focus tends to go. And when you're doing it as a hobby, it's no pressure, right? Because you're just flowing into it. Hey, buddy, how you doing? You know, I'm not doing too hot. And you begin to just do your magic just by nature, but just by default. And there's a few issues with doing it this way for a long period of time. And I'm going to go through those right now. Number one is burnout. Burnout. It's because we don't establish boundaries. It's because we see the things that people could work on, the little things that people could tweak and do this and do that, just a little different. And we expect them to be like us. And I'm not saying we're above anybody, because we're not at all. We're the same type of people. It's just where our minds are at. So it's our mindset. If you're a coach, consultant, service-based person, typically you have a growth-oriented mindset, right? You've done your healing work. You've done your studying. You want to expand your mind. You want to live this life a lot more fully. And the truth of the matter is some people are not there right now. They're focused on survival. They can't see past what's right in front of them because that's all they've known. So you have to be patient with these people. And a lot of the times when we do what I call being a social coach, you just do it without being asked, or you do it without a formal setting. You get burnt out because you're like, yo, I told this person what to do and they came back and they still complaining. They're in the same position. We all get burnt out, right? The thing is, that's one, you're being a social coach. And number two, you're lacking boundaries. Harsh truth. You haven't respected your own talent in yourself enough to recognize if somebody is receptive enough, or if there's somebody that's worthy of your knowledge. And yes, I use worthy because some people are not. They're not actually going to listen. There's two lessons. There's two ways to learn in life, right? You can listen or you can get lessons, right? Listens or lessons. There's only two flavors of knowledge. Listens or lessons. And some people, most people, a lot of people, I won't say most, but a lot of people prefer the lessons aspect of it. And the lessons aspect is falling on your face, hitting your butt, popping your head against the wall, and you learn like, wow, I don't want to do that. That was way too much pain. You have to know if people are worthy enough to receive your lessons, because otherwise you're just going to be speaking, you're sharing your knowledge, but people aren't listening. Okay, those are the two biggest obstacles, right? Burnout and then lack of boundaries. And then the other aspect of it is getting over this idea of getting paid for your talents. And it's an uncomfortable thing for a lot of people. I know part of the mind is, you know, well, I was born with, I don't want to have to pay people. I didn't have to pay for it, but you did. You cost your whole life to perfect and master the skill that you're presenting to the world. You definitely should be compensated for it. But that's a conversation for another day. But I wanted to speak on that. One of the other things is when you make a conscious effort to go from being a hobbyist to being a professional, it's your focus. And it's what you're focused on. This is an awesome example that I learned about the difference in your focus. And yeah, let's go to the board, right? So I want to say it was monks or things of that, somebody of that like that caliber, where you got to spend time and effort, and you get kind of, in order to really be on that level of mastery, you typically start from a very young age. And what they have their young initiates do is they put a log on the ground and they have them walk across the log, right? They walk across the log. And you know, right here, it doesn't seem like it's much effort, right? It's just walking across the log. It's easy, right? Most people can walk across the log. But as they get better at it, or as they feel more confident, you know what they do? They get the same log and they raise it up, you know, about 20 to 30 feet in the air. And then all of a sudden, walking across that log is a lot more difficult. Why? It's because of the focus. Our focus changes once the situation is varied. Right? Our focus changes because now there's this element of danger, or this perceived element of danger. And that's what happens when you go from hobby to professional, right? Because when you're a hobbyist, nobody's paying you any money. You're doing it because you love it. You're doing it out of pure passion. And even when you become a professional, you're doing it out of pure passion, but people are giving you money, right? And now this environment changes because somebody is paying you. And now there's this element of danger, which we call failure, or not serving somebody at a very high level. You begin to question yourself, just like when this log is lifted 20 to 30 feet off the ground. You begin questioning yourself like, man, am I good enough? What if I mess up? What if I fall? But meanwhile, down here, it's a safety net. You're already on the ground. You don't really care. You're just having fun. You're lighthearted. And this is the difference between a hobby and a professional. You know what the difference is? It's presence. When you're here, you show up fully as yourself without any expectations or without any constraints on who and what you are. But when you show up here, you lose some of your presence because you put this hat on of a professional, and you think that's where your energy has to go. You have to go. Realize this, family, especially if you're a coach or a consultant, advisor, mentor, agent, whatever. People aren't paying you because you're a professional. People are paying you because you're you. They're paying you because you're you. You have a skill. You have a talent, with or without the title. But a lot of us put this emphasis on this title, and we put emphasis on, oh my gosh, I got money, I'm a paid personnel, I got to perform at a higher level. No. You are already performing at a good level. You're already performing at a great level. Just perform. Just perform, and you get better along the way. But you don't put emphasis on that. You don't put emphasis on that. Because just like this, if you put emphasis on how high off the ground you are, you lose focus of what you're actually doing. You lose focus of what you're actually doing, which is walking across the log, doing something that comes naturally to you. And so I want to just leave you all with this, especially, again, coaches, consultants, agents, mentors. This is often, and it depends on the demographic you're working with, but this is often the step that people don't realize they're doing, especially as a coach, as a consultant. We're expecting to give all our clients these huge breakthroughs and these crazy paradigm shifts. And yes, that's part of the process, especially when you hone your skills. You start building that level of trust within yourself and that confidence. But often what's missed is this step right here, going from 0 to 1. This is the biggest leap, from 0 to 1. Think about that, family. That's the biggest leap for somebody who's unmotivated, undisciplined, to start building discipline, to rekindle the trust and faith and confidence in themselves. That's the magic of coaching. You brought this person back to life. You brought them from the underworld to the living world again. That is the biggest step. Moving from 1 to 2 is a lot easier now, because now you have momentum. This is momentum building right here, from 0 to 1. And when you're a coach or a consultant, that's your focus. You just move the needle. That's all you're in the business of doing, is moving the needle, or helping them learn that they can move the needle. That's it, family. That's the difference between being a hobbyist and a professional. A professional, the only difference is you're getting paid. That's literally the only difference. You're getting paid for your talents. And that's how we should live life. Look, I'm going to go on a little rant real fast, and y'all have to bear with me. We're moving into a new paradigm, family. We're moving into a whole new paradigm, and this new paradigm is you doing things that you love and getting paid for it. You're going to do things that you enjoy doing because you enjoy doing them, not because you need a paycheck, but because you enjoy doing them. You'll get a paycheck because you serve people at a very high level. You do what you do at a very high level, and you're not going to do that at a very high level by getting paid for it. You're going to do it at a very high level because it matters to you, because it just does. That's something intrinsic. That's what we call passion. You don't choose your passion. It's just something that resonates in your spirit. Some people love animals. They didn't choose to love animals. They just do. And when you act on that passion and you couple it with your purpose, because you can be passionate about helping animals, but your purpose might be to heal people. Well, now you can do something crazy and fantastic like helping people pick their best service dog or their service pet, right? Matching frequencies and bringing them together. That's how the new paradigm is going to work. That's how what people might call the new earth will begin to work. You're doing things, you're getting paid, you're being compensated by the things that you love to do because you do them so well. And you do them so well because you love them. You're living in spirit, you're living in energy. Like right now, this is my flow. I love this. I love speaking life into people. I love sharing the knowledge. I love sharing the education. I love seeing the mental shifts happen, and I know what I have. I know my medicine. And you will begin to know your medicine when you stop focusing so much on the hat that you're wearing, but instead of what you're doing. Family, that's the difference between being a hobbyist and a professional. You're doing it socially and you're doing it professionally. Look, I'm not telling you to not do your gift and your talent socially. You can do it if you want. I'm just going to let you know you're to a degree discrediting some of your value when you give away everything that you have freely. Look, I'm not telling you some things you don't serve people, but you got to realize that there's a law of balance in nature, and everything deserves a reciprocation. It deserves a reciprocation. You can't give everything away just for free. You have to move to the professional. You got to put on this hat. But look, you put on the hat, but you don't focus on the head. You just recognize that you have that hat on. You recognize that you do need some money. You do need compensation because we are living in this 3D material world, and you do need certain things to survive and operate right now. But you focus on your purpose. You focus on your passion. You focus on what you're actually doing, not just the hat that you're wearing. You stay focused on your essence and not your form. I got some notes over here I'm going to read to you. We're going to wrap this up, right? So the difference between business and hobby is a commitment as well. That's the big thing. I want to end with that. It's a commitment, right? Most people don't want to make this big gap because it's a commitment. They have to say that they're good at what they do. And you're also going to be held accountable for what you say that you're good at. A lot of people, that scares a lot of people because you're getting paid for it and you don't think that you might. And this is the beauty of being a coach and a consultant, because you got to do your shadow work before you can really serve other people. Because when you're getting paid for it, you begin to question your own worth. You begin to question your own worthiness. You have to overcome that obstacle before you can serve anybody else. Because you can't go into a coaching session, you can't go into a client meeting second guessing your own abilities, because why would I trust you if you don't trust yourself? That's the difference between a hobbyist and a professional. When you're a hobbyist, you can say, well, I'm just doing it for fun. When you're a professional, you got to say, no, that's what I'm doing for work. To a degree, they should be one and the same. Work should be fun, right? But you're being held accountable to a higher level. And when you move to the professional, you got to build that confidence within yourself to know that what you have is potent. What you have will change lives for your client. That's the difference. It's being held accountable. It's moving to that higher level. It's going from the ground level to 20, 30 feet in the air. Now, the difference between a professional and a good professional, this 20, 30 feet don't faze them. They know what they're good at. This is Brother 𝐁𝐫𝐶 at 𝐈𝐧𝐯𝐒.com. If you'd like some help on building that confidence muscle, getting a purpose-driven life, making a aligned schedule, maybe you're burnt out right now. Maybe you're not sure if what you're doing is the right thing for you. Reach out to me. Go to my site, 𝐈𝐧𝐯𝐒.com. You have one of two options there. Either you're a unique individual or you have something that you want to bring to life. You have an idea that you're trying to birth and bring into the world. Or maybe you're a solopreneur and you're wanting to scale up, or you want to do some tweaks to your business, or maybe you're just not sure if what you're doing is right. Guess what? Regardless of which way you are, you can schedule a free consultation with me. It's free. All you got to do is show up and bring yourself. Show up as you are. We'll talk. We'll see if what I have can actually help you on your journey. And if it can, we'll have a conversation about that. And if I can't help you all the way along the journey, I promise you I can have some resources. I can give them to you that will help you along the way. This is Brother 𝐁𝐫𝐴 at 𝐈𝐧𝐯𝐶.com. I love you, family. Have a great day. Peace.